Friends, today I am discussing about the NEET 2024 paper part 1. I'll be discussing the botany question paper part of it. Overall NEET 2024 question paper, the question paper was moderate, and the type of questions that I noticed in this entire paper was more of correct statements, incorrect statements type of questions. Match the following diagram oriented questions. From past 2 or 3 years in the NEET paper they had avoided diagram oriented questions, but I found that nearly 4 to 5 questions of diagram oriented nature was given in this particular NEET 2024 paper. Match the following large number of questions were there. So let us proceed with this discussion of this paper, that is botany part of it. In the next video I'll be discussing about the zoology part of the 2024 NEET paper. So the first part of our discussion will be NEET 2024 botany paper. Identify the set of correct statements. So the flowers of Vallisneria are colorful and produce nectar. This is wrong. Reason for that is Vallisneria is a hydrophyte. It is a submerged plant and they don't produce colorful flowers. The flower of water lily are not pollinated by water. This is a correct statement. First statement is wrong statement. Second, B is correct statement. In most of the water pollinated species, the pollen grains are protected from wetting. This is also correct statement. Pollen grains of some hydrophytes are long and ribbon-like. This is also correct statement. In E part of it, in some hydrophytes, the pollen grains are carried passively inside water. So this statement is also correct. So B, C, D and E, they are correct statements. So this is the right answer. A is the incorrect statement. The next question is the type of conservation in which the threatened species are taken out from their natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected and given special care is called. So semi-conservative method, sustainable development, in situ conservation, biodiversity conservation. See, since they have used the term threatened species are taken out from their natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected. So the best answer for this is going to be the biodiversity conservation. The next aspect is inhibition of succinic dehydrogenase enzyme by malonate is a classic example of the competitive inhibition. In the chapter of enzymes, the third part of the chapter, we would have biomolecules. We would have discussed about this in the enzyme portions. So inhibition of succinic dehydrogenase enzyme by malonate is a classical example of competitive inhibition. So the next one is a diagram oriented question. Identify the part of the seed from the given figure which is destined to form root. Usually the root arises from radicals. So we have to search for the labeling of the radical when the seed germinates. Here the diagram is not clear, but C here represents the radical, D represents coleorhiza, the membrane which protects the radical. So C is the answer. So the option is first one, answer 1, where C is the right one because it represents radical. So the next question is bulliform cells are responsible for. See, bulliform cells are found in the monocot leaf or isobilateral leaf, and they are responsible for the rolling up of the leaf lamina, which we have studied in plant anatomy. So the inward curling of leaves in monocots. So to conserve water by reducing transpiration. So that is brought about by bulliform or motile cells. So the third one is the correct answer. Which of the following is required for the dark reaction of photosynthesis? So light, N, chlorophyll, then carbon dioxide, ATP, NADPH. So choose the correct answer from the options given below. So which of the following are required for dark reaction of photosynthesis? Light is not required. Dark reaction of photosynthesis. Dark reaction of photosynthesis takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. So chlorophyll is the pigment. So chloroplast, the stroma of the chloroplast. So chlorophyll is not required. Then carbon dioxide is required for dark reaction of photosynthesis because they are going to fix. ATP is required, NADPH is required. They undergo 6 cycles. For every cycle, Kelvin cycle, they require 3 ATP and 2 NADPH2. For one glucose molecule, we know that it will be 18 ATP and 12 NADPH2. So the answer would be they require the carbon dioxide, ATP, NADPH. So C, D and E only is the correct option. This is a question from photosynthesis plant physiology of first year. So the formation of interfascicular cambium, interfascicular, that is in between the vascular bundles, from fully developed parenchyma cells is an example for dedifferentiation. It is. See, the meristem differentiates to form parenchyma, that is differentiation. If parenchyma regains its ability, dedifferentiation. So the correct answer is dedifferentiation. Hint 2 always cuts DNA molecule at a particular point. Hint 2. So Haemophilus influenza D2. This is the restriction enzyme. So the nomenclature you would be knowing about. The first discovered restriction enzyme is Hint 2. It always cuts DNA molecules at a particular point called recognition sequence, and it consists of, what does it consist of? So how many of the base pairs they consist of? The answer is fourth one. 6 base pairs they consist of. So Hint 2 always cuts DNA molecule at a particular point called recognition sequence. That is the palindromic sequence, and this palindromic sequence length is 6 base pairs. So answer is fourth one. So the tropical region shows greatest level of richness because of, why do they show greatest level of species richness? Because tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years. Hence, more time was available for species diversification. So A is a correct answer of it. So tropical environments are more seasonal. So this is wrong. More solar energy is available in tropics. That is correct. Constant environment promote niche specialization. A stable environment promotes niche specialization. This is also correct. So the E part of it, tropical environments are constant and predictable. So this is also correct. So A, C, D, E are correct. B, tropical environments are more seasonal is incorrect. So the third option is the right answer. A, C, D and E only. Which one of the following is not a criterion for classification of fungi? So mode of spore formation is a criterion, like it can be exospore formation in case of Basidiomycetes, or endospore formation in case of Ascomycetes, ascospore formation. So fruiting body, ascocarp, basidiocarp, on that basis also classification is there. Morphology of mycelium, whether they are septate or aseptate, on that basis also there is classification. So the classification of fungi is not based on mode of nutrition. So here the mode of nutrition has no role in the classification of fungi. So you know that fungi is classified into 4 groups as per our NCERT book: Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, Deuteromycetes. So this question is from biological classification. How many molecules of ATP are required for every molecule of carbon dioxide fixed in the Kelvin cycle? So how many molecules per carbon dioxide? It is going to be 3 molecules of ATP and 2 molecules of NADPH2. So second option is the correct one. 3 molecules of ATP and 2 molecules of NADPH2. These are regarded as major causes of biodiversity loss. So the evil quadrants of biodiversity loss we have to look into. So which of those are there? Overexploitation is one option that is correct. Then co-extinction, that also happens. Mutation is not a reason for biodiversity loss. Habitat loss and fragmentation is also there. So the right answer would be A, B, D. E is also wrong. So A, B and D is the correct answer. So the second option is correct, which has all this A, B and D. So overexploitation, co-extinction, habitat loss and fragmentation. The capacity to generate a whole plant from any cell of the plant is called totipotency. This phenomenon is called totipotency. So this is from plant tissue culture, which was a portion of biotechnology applications. So the equation of Verhulst-Pearl logistic growth is dN by dt equals Rn of k minus n divided by k. So what is K they have asked? It is carrying capacity. K is carrying capacity. Spindle fibers attached to kinetochores of chromosomes during. So the metaphase itself they are attached to. So the answer is metaphase. In anaphase, the condensation of the spindle fibers takes place and the sister chromatids or the chromosomes are pulled towards the opposite pole. So the 115 metaphase is the answer. So the spindle fibers are attached to kinetochores of chromosomes during metaphase itself. Identify the type of flowers based on the position of calyx, corolla and androecium with respect to the ovary. In both this diagram you can see half of the ovary is inside, half of the ovary is outside. And the appendages, they arise from either at the tip of the rim of this thalamus or in between the ovary. So both of them are showing half inferior condition. So this is nothing but perigynous. Both are perigynous. That is, second is the correct answer. A perigynous, B perigynous. So the match the following, we have choose the correct answer below for this. List one, Rhizopus. So the Rhizopus, it is also called as bread mold. So Rhizopus, bread mold. Then Ustilago, it is smut. Puccinia is rust. Agaricus is mushroom. So Rhizopus is the bread mold. The Ustilago is smut. The Puccinia is rust. The Agaricus is mushroom. So third option is the correct answer. So this is the right answer. In a plant, black seed color is dominant over white seed color. So these two conditions, homozygous and heterozygous, is dominant over the homozygous recessive. In order to find out the genotype of the black seed plant, with which of the following genotype will you cross it? If it's a black seed color, to know whether it is homozygous or heterozygous, so we have to do the test cross. Test cross always involves the recessive parent. So the answer for this is fourth option, small b, homozygous recessive condition. This is an indirect question about test cross. A pink flowered snapdragon plant was crossed with a red flowered snapdragon plant. So pink colored snapdragon plant is nothing but capital R, small r. With a red flowered snapdragon is capital R, capital R. So you should remember about this. So it will be so pink colored will be capital R, small r, and red colored will be capital R, capital R. This is based on this incomplete dominance. So what type of phenotype are expected in the progeny? So there is only two possibilities, red and pink colored. Okay, so the answer would be fourth option, red flowered as well as pink flowered plants. So it can be the red colored as well as the red flowered as well as the pink flowered plants. So again, match the following are there. Two or more alternative forms of a gene. Two or more alternative forms of a gene. So it is allele, isn't it? So the blood group, multiple allelism, a very good example for it. So two or more alternative forms of a gene. Two genes is normal, the contrasting genes. More, it is usually the multiple allelism. So two or more alternative forms of a gene is nothing but allele. Cross of F1 progeny with homozygous recessive progeny, we call it as test cross. So 3, 4, that is the options that is there. If you look into this, only the first option shows that. Cross of F1 progeny with any of the parent, we call it as back cross. Number of chromosome sets in plants, we call it as ploidy level. So number of chromosome set in plant, we call it as the ploidy level. So D is 2. So this is the correct option for match the following. So lecithin, a small molecular weight organic compound found in living tissues, is an example of glycerides, carbohydrates, amino acids or phospholipids. So lecithin is an example for this phospholipids. The compound lipids they are, so there is an example for phospholipids, lecithin. So match column 1 with column 2 or list 1 with list 2. Clostridium butylicum, so butyric acid. So it is going to be the butyric acid. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, they produce ethanol. Trichoderma polyspora, so they are going to be responsible for cyclosporin A. C is 4. Streptococcus species, streptokinase enzyme, D4. So these options are seen only in case of the first one, A3, B1, C4, D2. This is the right answer. In the given figure, which component has thin outer walls and highly thickened inner walls? See, which component has thin outer walls and highly thickened inner walls. So that is going to be in case of guard cell. So the answer will be C. So the guard cell is the correct answer. It has the thick inner walls and outer walls are thin. So which of the following is an example of actinomorphic flower, that is radial symmetry flower? So they have given Pisum. Pisum is zygomorphic. Sesbania is also zygomorphic. Cassia is also zygomorphic. Datura is Solanaceae and it is actinomorphic. Answer is 3. A transcription unit in DNA is defined prima by 3 regions in DNA, and these are respect to upstream and downstream end. So the points are promoter region, structural gene, terminator. So these are the 3 regions in DNA with respect to upstream and downstream end. So from upstream to downstream end, this is the right answer. Promoter, structural gene and terminator. What is the fate of a piece of DNA carrying 0 gene of interest which is transferred into all organisms? So this is an interesting question from molecular basis of inheritance. The piece of DNA would be able to multiply itself independently and seen in the progeny cells of the organism. It may get integrated into the genome of recipient. It can multiply and be inherited along with the host DNA. The alien piece of DNA is not an integral part of chromosome. It shows ability to replicate. The answer is B and C are the correct one. It may get integrated into the genome of recipient. So DNA carrying gene of interest, it can get integrated into the genome of recipient. and C is it can multiply and be inherited along with the host DNA. So these are two correct answers. That is the reason B and C is the right answer. Auxin is used by gardeners to prepare weed-free lawns, but no damage is caused to grass, as auxins, grass, they are going to affect only the dicot plants, dorsiventral leaves, as auxin does not affect mature monocotyledonous plant, as auxins can help in cell division in grasses, produce growth, promote hemicultivation, promotes abscission of mature leaves only. So the answer is does not affect mature monocotyledonous plants. If you remember, the 2,4-D is a dicot herbicide or weedicide. So it affects only the dicot plants with dorsiventral leaf. The cofactor of the enzyme carboxypeptidase is flavin, heme, zinc, niacin. So the cofactor of the enzyme carboxypeptidase is zinc. The lactose present in the growth medium bacteria is transported to the cell by the action of. So the lactose present in the growth medium bacteria is transported to the cell by the action of beta-galactosidase is wrong. It should be the permease. It is transported, not digested, transported to the cell by the action of the permease enzyme. Which of the following can be explained on the basis of Mendel's law of dominance? Out of one pair of factors, one is dominant, other is recessive. Alleles do not show any expression and both the characters appear as such in F2 generation. Factors occur in pair in normal diploid plants. The discrete unit controlling a pair of particular factor is called factor. The expression of only one of the parental character is found in monohybrid cross. So the answer is alleles do not show any expression and both the characters appear as such in F2 generation is wrong statement. So A, C, D and E are correct statements. So that is seen. So fourth one is the correct option here. B, alleles do not show any expression is wrong. They do show the expression. Okay, and both the characters appear as such in F2 generation. So it is not like they do not have any change and they appear as such in F2 generation. That is wrong. Given below are two statements. So this is the statement oriented questions. Bt toxins are insect group specific and coded by a gene Cry1AC. So statement 2, Bt toxin is an inactive, exists as inactive protein in Bacillus thuringiensis. However, after ingestion by the insect, the inactive protoxin gets converted into active form digesting pH of the insect gut using the pH of the in the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer from the options below. So statement 1 is correct. So statement 2 is false. So that is what we have to remember about. So here they have given acidic pH of the insect gut. So that we have to cross check here. So statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. So this is the answer for this biotechnology question. So if you see, the biotechnology questions have been asked both in botany and zoology. So again there is a statement question. Parenchyma is living but collenchyma is dead tissue. So first statement is wrong because collenchyma is a living mechanical tissue. Statement 2, gymnosperms lack xylem vessels but presence of xylem vessels is the characteristic of angiosperms. So statement 2 is correct. Statement 1 is false but statement 2 is correct. So this is the answer. Given below are two statements. Chromosomes becomes gradually visible under light microscope during leptotin stage. Statement 2, the beginning of diplotin stage is recognized by dissolution of synaptoenamel complex. In the light of the, choose the correct statement. Second statement is correct. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. So this is what is the answer. Both statement 1 and 2 are true. Nucleolus, so again here you find the the cell biology questions are asked both in botany and zoology. So this time paper had more of questions from the cell biology even in the zoology section. So nucleolus, it is the site for nucleolus is the site for organization like the cartwheel. So centriole. So we have to choose the correct answer here. So site for active ribosomal synthesis is nucleolus. Centriole is organization like the cartwheel. Leucoplast, so site for storing nutrients. Golgi apparatus, site of formation of glycolipid. So leucoplast for storing nutrients. So nucleolus is site for, so A3, B2. So third option is correct. Here the third option is correct, and here the given answer is, this is wrong. It should be third answer. A3, B2, C4, D, site of formation of glycolipids. List of endangered species was given by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. So they have given this red, rare, endangered and threatened species, isn't it? So you should remember about it. The Red Book and other things are all framed by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Form Friends of Archaeopteryx, Genetic Engineering Approval Committees. So these are all wrong options. So IUCN is the correct option. So section A, which had 35 questions, were mandatory questions. Section B will be having 15 questions, of which any 10 can be chosen and answered. So the DNA present in chloroplast is, linear, single-stranded, circular, single-stranded. So the answer is circular, double-stranded it is in chloroplast. Which of the following are fused in somatic hybridization involving two varieties of plants? So it is the protoplast that are fused. This is the somatic hybridization involves fusion of protoplasts of two different species of plants. Example, pomato, you can remember about. So identify the correct description about the given figure. It looks like the male flowers of the corn cob. So it represents wind-pollinated plant inflorescence, showing flowers with exposed stamens so that they can be carried by the wind. So this is seen in maize. So this diagram is maize corn cob having the male flowers with exposed stamens. Spraying sugarcane crop with which of the following plant growth regulators increases the length of stem, thus increasing the yield? It is going to be gibberellins. It brings about internodal elongation. So fourth is the correct answer for it. So mark list with 1 with list 2. Frederick Griffith. So he discovered the transformation process. Francois Jacob and Jake. So they were Hergobin Corona, the Messrs. Francois Jacob and Jake. So the lac operon concept. So Michelson and Stahl, semi-conservative mode of replication. Frederick is transformation. Hergobin Corona is genetic code. So this answers where Frederick Griffith is 3, A3, B4, C1 and D2. So it is seen in the fourth option. Match list 1 with list 2. GLUT4 enables glucose transport into cell. Insulin is a hormone. Trypsin is an enzyme. Collagen is intercellular ground substance. So A4, B1, C2, D3 intercellular ground substance. So third option is the correct one for this match the following. So given below are two statements. In C3 plants, some oxygen binds rubisco. Hence, carbon dioxide fixation is decreased. So that is in C3 plants, some oxygen binds to rubisco. So that is also a fine statement with the correct statement. Statement 2. In C4 plants, mesophyll cells show very little photorespiration, while bundle sheath cells do not show photorespiration. So this is very true, because bundle sheath cells, they are going to be having a thick layer of thick wall which is impervious to gaseous entry. And in the mesophyll cells, very little it might happen, because the primary carbon dioxide acceptor in C4 plants is pepcase. So both statement 1 and statement 2 are true. So third option is correct. Identify the step in tricarboxylic acid cycle which does not involve oxidation of substrate. So where there is no oxidation. Oxidation means addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen, or it can also be called as loss of electrons. So in none of these stages should take place. So in which step it does not happen is succinyl coenzyme to succinic acid. There is no addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen or loss of electrons. So this is the only step where there is no involvement of substrate oxidation. Succinyl coenzyme A to succinic acid, because there only coenzyme A is removed and there is a formation of succinic acid. So the next is match the following. Citric acid cycle, it takes place in the mitochondrial matrix. Glycolysis is in the cytoplasm of the cell. The electron transport takes place in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Proton gradient intermembrane space of mitochondria. So that is chemiosmotic hypothesis, that where there is a proton gradient. So for these options, fourth one, A2, B1, C4, D3. So this is the right answer for this options, 144. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the process of replication in E. coli? So for replication in E. coli, it involves the DNA-dependent DNA polymerase catalyzes polymerization in 5' to 3' direction. They are going to synthesize it in 5' to 3' direction. So second option is correct. In an ecosystem, if the net primary productivity of first trophic level is 100x, what would be the gross primary productivity of the third trophic level of the same system, same ecosystem? So it is going to be the 10% law you have to consider. So first will be 100x. So the answer is, it is going to be, what would be the gross primary productivity of the third trophic level of the same ecosystem. So it is the answer that they have given is 10x is the answer that they have provided. So because based on the 10% law, they have provided it. So net primary productivity is 100x. So the first trophic level, so it would be using this complete part of it, 100x part of it, minus of the respiration. Okay. So in the third trophic level, it would be 10% of this 100x. So the net primary productivity of first trophic level is the available energy for the second trophic level. And from second trophic level, you have to put the 10% law to the third trophic level. That is how it comes as 10x. Match list 1 with list 2. The rose. So rose is a perigynous flower. Pea. In pea plant, you can see marginal placentation. Cotton, twisted estivation. Mango, it is truth. So this options is seen in A is 2, B is 4, C is 1, D is 3. So this option, you can see it in this third option. So here you can see cotton is given Malvaceae family. So they had told that from the syllabus of this particular Malvaceae practical oriented, they would be providing it. So that is how you can see twisted estivation is in cotton. So this is also given as an example in the estivation also. Robert May, he was the person who helped in giving the global species diversity at about 7 million. He specified that. Alexander von Humboldt, so he was the person who put forth the species area relationship. Paul Ehrlich, so river poppet hypothesis. David Tillman, long-term ecosystem experiment. So the option would be A3, B1, C4, D2. Match list with one with list to choose the correct answer from the option below. So here the answer is missing, so I might not be able to do that question. Anyway, the next one is read the following questions, statements, and choose the set of correct statements in the members of Phaeophyceae. Not, its spelling is wrong. Phaeophyceae, brown algae. Asexual reproduction occurs usually by biflagellate zoospores. So the A option is correct. Sexual reproduction is by oogamous method only. This is wrong. It involves isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. Oogamous is seen only in Rhodophyceae. Okay. C, stored food, either mannitol or laminarin. It is also correct. The major pigments found are chlorophyll A, C, and carotenoids, and xanthophyll, the fucoxanthin. It's a derivative of xanthophyll, so it is also correct. E, vegetative cells have a cellulosic wall, usually covered on the outside by gelatinous coating of algin. So Phaeophyceae has algin. Red algae has carrageenan. So we have, so this is also the correct option. A, C, D, and E. All three, the four are correct. B is the incorrect statement. So this completes our discussion on the botany paper of it. Next we'll be discussing the zoology question paper in the next video. Thank you. Hope you have understood the topics well and the discussion was helpful for your NEET preparation. If you find it helpful, share it with your friends and subscribe for the channel also. Thank you.